Hi guys, welcome back to another video and another part works video. So this month we've got 4 more issues of the Fast and Furious Dodge Charger. We've got issues 19 right the way through to 22, and we've got a load of big parts. We're starting on the, well, actually I'll show you in the magazines what we're starting on anyways, but yeah, we've got 4 issues as I said, so you can see what we've got. But let's get through to the first part, or the next magazine, what you want to call it. So issue 19, obviously we've got Tyrese Gibson and we've got Ludacris as well. This is saying about family comes first. And then you've got Mia Toretto as well. It's obviously Dominic Toretto's sister. And then we've got some other bits there, some information. We've got the Dodge pace car at the Indianapolis 500. Today we're doing the other side, or carrying on with the engine block, but we're also doing the other side of the exhaust manifold. So we're carrying on that and obviously building that up. Then we're also adding the whole engine assembly to the chassis, the front part of the chassis, so that's going to be interesting on how that goes. We've got the hard life of the piston, so going on through about the piston and things like that, saying about competition pistons, and that's basically it. So let's go right way back and get the parts out that we've got here. So we've got the bags. For some reason they keep I don't understand, but why they keep putting the little poly bag screws into the bag itself, I don't know, but they've got like a little section here for the screws. They could have actually put those in there, but yeah. Right, anyway, so let's get the first lot in, or the first parts out. Right, so it says take manifold gasket, which is the longer piece, which I'll get my tweezers and get this out. So we've got the gasket. This is made of metal, and position it as shown in the illustration. The small pin indicated in red, which is this small pin here, with the red circle should be facing upwards. So yeah, and then attach the header tube for cylinder 719D, which is the smaller one. It's this one here. And that needs to be attached with an AP screw. Now I have got some screws here, but yeah, we've not got the AP screws there for some reason. I'm not too sure why we've got no AP screws from the last time, but yeah, that's fine, we can sort that out. I'll be able to divide that up into what we need anyways. So just need one screw. We'll get the screwdriver, and then what we'll do is we'll start this off, like try it again like we did last time. So we'll start this off like that, and then get the screw started off by hand, which is not actually doing it. Right, okay, so we've got a little bit of leeway there. I'm not going to tighten the whole lot up. I'm just going to wait until we've got all the parts in. So then we need 19A, which is the next longest one, which is here again. And we then line that up with the next screw. Let's try it a different way. We might actually be able to yeah, so we've got that bit there. So that's actually gone in perfectly there. Ooh. So we'll to leave these a little bit loose. So obviously, like last time, we can then put the main bits in. If you saw last video, then you'll know what I mean by connecting it all properly. So then we've got the next one. And then we put that just there. And then we get the next screw. There we go, so that one's in. These are going in a lot easier than they did last time, I will say that. But then obviously, having done it before, you then get a feel of how it's supposed to go for the next time. So next screw again. And then we just screw that one in. There we go. Okay, so we've got those screwed in. It's just a matter of obviously tightening them all up when needed. Okay, so yep. And then next bit, we then attach the header tube of cylinder. So we've done that one, 19B and 19G. Yeah, we've done that one. Okay, so then next one, stage 3, it says with the pieces facing the same way as shown in the illustration, join the tube connector 19E, which is this piece here. We've got this piece here, and then we've got to show that with the, or connect that up with the exhaust collector 19F, which is also that bit there. And 1 second, guys. Okay, guys, sorry about that. Back again. Right, anyways, as I was saying, we've then got these two pieces that we need to connect up. We've then got to then connect it up. We put the screw through an AP screw through the actual main hole. But what we'll do is, if we can actually do it, we'll get the screw in first, and then there we go. So we'll then connect that up. There we go. So that's now going in. That's good. So screw that all the way. Just remember, being plastic, don't over tighten it, because you can strip the thread. And then what we do is we then grab our exhaust parts and then with the okay, so this is not, it's a bit weird why it's facing that way, but it's not. Okay. Ah, right, okay, so we have got it that way, right. So then the two longer ones go in the side there. That one goes into there, and then that will then, this last one here. Oh, okay, so we just pulled more pieces out, which we didn't need to happen. It's a bit unfortunate. So yeah, that's not doing what we want it to do. So then that one then goes on the top there. And there we go. Right, so we've got all 4 in. Just make sure they're all in properly. And then what we can do is we can go back and tighten the screws up. So that's one. Just getting all these tightened up like so. That's that one, and then the last one. There we go. I think that one's not tightened up properly, so we'll go back. There we go. Right, okay, so we've now got the main exhaust system built up there. Now for some reason that's not connecting up right. Not too sure as to why that's doing that, but yeah. And then what we need next is the main engine assembly. So we can take the top of the supercharger off, which I've kept on from last time. And then it also says position the left bank manifold gasket, which is this bit here, onto the left cylinder head, just underneath the valve cover. So what we need then is that we obviously move this out of the way for the moment. I think that goes, okay, so it goes above there. So what I will do, and that's just come off unfortunately. Right, I'll take that off for the moment and then I'll come back to that once I've done. But we need to then connect it up to all these, but then with the locating pin, it goes into the hole next to that one, which then connects up like so. Oh, and that is then connected with 3 CM screws. Now I did put the screws somewhere. Yep, there we go. So we've got the CM screws here. I need 3 of those. And as always, they always love to give us 1 spare, just to be on the safe side. But CM is going into metal, so I'll bring those back. I'm going to start off the middle one. These are very tiny screws as well. Just start that off like so, and then we get the other 2 screws in. It's not wanting to go in. There we go. That one's in, and then the last one. There we go. And then what we do is we then just make sure we tighten everything up. There we go. And then because it fell out, what we'll then do is get this and then reconnect. Reconnect that. So what I will probably do at some point as well off camera is I will just glue that into place, and then we've got that in line. Right, okay, so next stage, it says position the engine block onto the chassis. Place the 2 front mounting brackets, which are these 2 here, 13F and 13G, onto the front of the section with the chassis above the engine supports. And then it says the drive shaft end and the gear of the gearbox must sit in the semicircular recess in the rear bottom of the front section of the chassis. Okay, so we've then got this here. So when we've then, what it's saying in the instructions, we've then got 1, 2, 3 and 4 holes, and then also another one there, and we connect that up and sit that into place, in which it's been sitting there since last video. Making sure that's in place as well. And then we then make sure that this wire doesn't get tangled up in here either. So we then got that there. Okay. And then that is then connected. That is then connected with 2 AM screws at the front. So then we need to go from here and here at the front with 2 AM screws, which we've got here. Right. So then we get the first screw. A little bit of a shaky hand as well. There we go. So it's starting to bite. That one's in place. Just tighten that up. And then we get the second one. And then that's in place there. There we go. So that's the first 2 screws in. So we can move that to one side while we turn the other page. And then it says insert 2 more AM screws in the back of the engine, one for the left mounting bracket and the other for the right. So we then repeat the same thing again, which we've just done. And they are literally located at the front here, as you can see. So we then get 2 more AM screws. Okay. So then we start off with this side here. Making sure we get that tightened in. And then that's that one in there. And then you do the same again for the right side. And there we go. There we go. And then the next side it said turn the part upside down, insert an AM screw into the hole shown in the illustration to join the gearbox to 12D at the front section of the chassis. So we then move this round and then sit that upside down like so. So we've then got the hole that is here that joins up the pin, connects the pin up with the gearbox. And then we get a screw, making sure that's in place. And there we go. And that is literally the completed section and built up engine with exhaust assembly, and that's on the front section of the chassis, or the front chassis section, however you would call it. So that is that book complete. So we then move on to the next stage, issue 20. I'll move that to one side a minute. So in issue 20 we've got the FBI fights crime. Obviously got Roman Pierce as well. And other bits there. We've got the Dodge brand in Brazil. And in this one we're then working on the steering gearbox. So we should then be connecting up the steering gearbox to the chassis. Which then obviously shows there. Also showing about changing the pistons, and it says about some useful advice, and then you've got the piston rings there as well. So okay, so we then get the next bag. Then you get, that's actually fallen out, sorry. So you've got that bit there. These are all metal, I think. So yeah, and then we've got another bag of screws there, which is then also caught. There we go. So we've got the screws out. So make sure you got everything out of the clear bag. Okay, so for that we need then slide the pinion, which is 20D, which is this little thing here. On the square end of the steering column, which is the longer piece here. So we've got a square end and a square hole. That then connects up like so. Oh no, sorry, that's not that bit. So it's this piece here that we need. And then we've pushed that all the way down to there. So that clips in by the sounds of it. Oh no, it did clip in, but now it doesn't. Right, okay, so that's that connected up like so. So it's the longer piece that you need. So we've then got that, and then it says put the steering gear into its 20C, which is then this piece here, which we first picked up, into the housing. Into its housing inside piece 2 of the steering gearbox. So we've then got this piece here. This is piece 2, and then we just clip it or place it into here like so, and then obviously it connects up to that. The next piece, it then says put the steering column 20E into the diagonal housing in piece 2 of the gearbox 20B. Ensure the pinion 20D and the steering gear 20C are engaged. So we then connect these two up, making sure that they are like that. So you've got that like so. So you can see it actually turns round, and then spin it this way, and then bring the magazine up so you guys can see quickly. It also then says close the steering gearbox with piece 1 of 20A, which is this piece, aligning the mounting pins and holes, and then use 2 cm screws to join pieces together. So we then connect everything up like so. So we then put that there. So they've got DM, and then we've got CM screws here. So we need 2 of those. Okay, so we've got 2 of the CM screws. Oh, and of course these ones are very small screws as well, so be careful. So making sure that everything is lined up. Let's put this one in first, like so, and then that bit, or the next screw, goes into the next hole like so. There we go. So just tighten these up, but make sure okay, so it turns one way, but it doesn't turn the other way. So it might have just over tightened a little bit too much there. Okay, so yeah, that is definitely, something's not right with this. Just tighten it. Yeah, that's not, there we go. Right, so there we go, we've got that connected up like so. But then that should not be like that at all. So just make sure that we've actually got it again. Go back to tightening it again. So yeah, that looks to be okay. Okay, so next stage, it then says get the chassis and engine block, place the steering gearbox pins into the hole, 2 holes in the left beam of the chassis 5A. The steering column must be pointing backwards as shown. Okay, so what we then do is we then get the chassis here, and then we've got 2 pins here, and we've also got 2 holes just here that you can see. I'm just making sure that you can see because I was just looking at the book as well. And then what we do is just slide that in like so. We then, it then says turn the piece upside down, holding the steering gearbox in place, and then attach it with 2 AM screws. So what we'll do is we'll get the AM screws first. And then we'll load one up before I turn the piece over. So put that to one side. So just making sure that we've got this all done properly. And then we've then got the 2 holes just here and here, as you can see. So just gently get the screw in. That's the first one. There we go. Tighten these up now. There we go. There we go. So we've got that now connected up. And then we turn this over. And then it will then say put the small pin of the pit man arm 20F, which is this piece here, into the hole of the central steering arm 10C. And so yeah, we've then connected it up. We've then got 2 pieces here, 2 parts here. Now one's actually got this section here, it's got a square hole, and you've got a normal pin hole there. Now when you actually connect everything up, the square hole will then connect up to here, and then the main pin bit will go there. So we'll line this up first. Line everything up like that, and then we need 1 CM screw for the hole here. So we just get the one, we'll try and get the 1 CM screw. There we go. Connect that up first. And then this connects up to the bottom. There we go. There we go. And then we then get one, we've then got to flip this over if we can. and then we've got one DM screw that will go into the bottom side underneath as well. So then we then get one DM screw, and we've got to see if we can actually connect this up via the bit here. Right, okay, so this is going to be a bit of a fiddly job here, I think. Just making sure we've got everything that's right next to the making sure that we've actually got it into place. So yeah, it's a bit fiddly actually saying that. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this off camera and then I'll be back. 1 second. Right, okay then, so we're back. We've now managed to get it. It was a bit difficult, but obviously the best way to do it is to get obviously screw underneath. I've tightened it as best as possible, but I'm not going to turn the wheels or anything. But if we just go over, we've got the whole gearbox assembly there, but then the screw is literally right down there, and you've got to have, just make sure you've got a long enough screw or screwdriver to actually get that down there, and you will be fine. But anyways, that now completes that stage. So we'll then move on to stage 21, or issue 21, sorry. Get the book. Okay, so we will then move on. It's now saying about the Toretto family home and things like that. Saying about Mia Toretto, and then you've got Dom's Dodge Charger there. You've got the Dodge Vipers that are in competition. And then obviously he was saying about big pieces here. We're installing the front floor panel, which is obviously going to make everything a lot bigger on there. So we're installing everything here, and then obviously that's going to come do that. So this one's going to be a fairly, well, it shouldn't be that long to do. But then we've got focus on the connecting rods for the pistons, and obviously showing the insides of the con rods, a bit of a diagram, and that's about it really. So we'll then turn the page back. We'll then get the actual part. So as you can see, just by the size of my hand, this is already gonna be big. Right, so then we've got that. We've got 2 bags of screws. We've got AP and AM screws, and then we've got the main floor panel, and as you can see, it is made of metal as well. So right now what we do is we've then got to apparently flip the car upside down, or the chassis upside down, and then connect it up the way it's showing. So it then connects up with what was it saying? It says take the chassis and the engine block you assembled in the last session, put the piece upside down on your work surface, insert the pins on the top of the left and right bank exhaust collectors into the corresponding holes in the front floor panel. At the same time, line up the holes further back on the floor panel with the corresponding holes in the rear beam of the front section of the chassis. Okay, so what we'll do is then we'll grab the chassis, bring that along. So we've then got the rear exhaust collectors here. We then, okay, so it's all connecting underneath. So I don't know why it's saying to us to So we've got then, going back to the chassis or the floor panel, we've got the two holes here and here. They will then connect up with the pins just on the inside. Just move those over, making sure then they are there. Okay. So that's then connected up, but we're going to have to turn this over anyways. So we turn this over, and then we've got to put two AP screws in the front of these two holes here. So yeah, I'm not too sure on how this is supposed to connect properly, but it's not really doing it justice at the moment. So I said this is going to be a bit of a quick issue. I don't think it is going to be. Okay. There we go. Right, so we then get an AP screw. We might as well get the two AP screws out. And connect the first one in. There we go, so it's biting on that. There we go. Now we then get the next bit. Try and line it all up if I can. There we go. Just making sure that it's in place. Then get the screw. There we go. So we then connect that up like so. Get this one and then just tighten this one up a little bit more. Okay. So we then turn the page. And then it says, to conclude this work session, insert 3 AM screws into each side of the platform. So, just trying to figure out where they would go. So we've got one there, and then one there, by the looks of it. Yeah. So we then need 6 AM screws. Got 2, 4, 5, and then the 6th one there. Right. Okay, so I'm going to do this slightly different. I'll start off. Oh. What I'll do is I shall start off with this hole here. There we go. So we've got that one in. And then I'll do the other side as well, just to even it out. Okay. And then we've also got 2 screws that will go either side. There we go. And then repeat again. So I'm just evening the parts out, so not actually forcing anything on the part itself. I'm going to get the 4th screw in now. There we go, and then we've got the final 2, which then go on either side here. So as you can see, I'm putting the screw into that hole there, which is this one here. There we go. And then the final screw. Oh, no. The final screw does not want to go in at all. So just tighten that one up now. And there we go. So that's just double checking. Yeah. So that now concludes this issue. And that is literally the whole lot. That's now giving you the full size of the front of the chassis with the front floor panel. So that now concludes this issue, as I just said. So we'll then move on to the next, or the last one, which is then, kicking the screwdriver over the place, which is issue 22. And in issue 22 we've got Vince, a tough guy at the wheel, and obviously says about other bits in there about Vince and things like that. The Dodge brand as police cars, and then we've also assembling the engine housing part 1. So we're then doing this, and then obviously we don't need the chassis anymore. And then we've got the connecting shaft to the piston. So obviously it tells you about that. How to center the cap. And everything like that. So, right, without further ado, we'll get then last bit in. So last piece, we've only got 2 pieces here, and both of these are metal. And then it says start this assembly session by lining up the 3 holes in the left panel 22A, which is this piece here. So we've got 3 holes there, with the 3 holes in the left panel of 22B. So we've got then 3 holes into here, and then we connect that up like so, and as you can see it's connected up like that, and then that is connected with 3 AM screws. So we then get these screws here, load one up, and then we'll do the middle screw. We'll put the screw in the middle first, and then what we do is just do it loosely first, and then we go back and tighten everything up when we can. Okay, so we go back and then we tighten everything up. That's 2. And then that's 3. Okay, so there we've got that. And then it was just giving you a certain order, telling you a certain order of the screws, and then that basically concludes it. And then it says you have finished the left wall of the engine housing. Keep it in a safe place until you are ready to attach it to your model. But that then completes the whole lot. So this is now the left side of the engine housing, and then that would then connect up like so, as you can see. So that is it for today, for now, for this month as well. Concludes issue 19 right the way through to 22. If you guys like this video, drop us a thumbs up, give us a like rating and everything like that. If you're enjoying, give us a comment as well. If you're new to this channel and you're not subscribed already, then always click that button, click that subscribe button, and also click the bell at the side so you will be notified when I post new videos up and everything like that. So up until the next time, whether it's obviously the part works video or my Lego builds or whatever else, I will catch you in the next video. So up until then, bye-bye. Bye.